Hey folks, it's Stephan here. Welcome back to Goetia. So we go in here and we can notice that when we pick up the hammer, the sepia tone comes out again. So that means the hammer is going to reveal something in here. And of course, she kept mentioning the rock. So we go out to the rock and there is indeed something here. The summit is but a milestone. Climb some more. Seems like someone never heard of Icarus. So it's a message. And what's really funny is that the message there is different from what's in the journal. The sentence has been carved on this round stone. The summit isn't an achievement. Climb some more. How philosophical. Or am I supposed to find something at altitude? So as far as we know, there isn't anything particularly at high altitude, but maybe there's something in one of the other photos. If we go back to this photo, there was a mountain range in the background, and it looks like there's a lot of expansive sky above us. Now we can move up. Now, whether we'd been able to move up before or not, I don't know. You get up here and there's really nothing apparent. You can go back down. But if you continue moving upward, eventually you find another piece of a photograph that's been pasted in here. This island, well, hardly an island, looks like a mountain that was cut out and turned upside down like something from a story. And indeed, that is what happened, and somebody put a table and a lamp on it. This column was added to the rest. I'm not sure if the column has anything to do with it. There wasn't really much that you got out of this, honestly. The light is soft, warm, and welcoming. I recognize this book, but not this message. I gave orders to creatures that I would have sworn never existed, and I felt and understood the essence of the human soul like no one before me ever described it. I scratched the surface of our salvation after death, and literally moved heaven and earth to stand where I am today. No one has ever come so close. I would be insane not to fear for what tomorrow will bring. I have faith in Mother, in her work, in her will and her knowledge, in her persistence, her vigilance, her power, and her intellect. I will not draw back. So clearly the note is from Gabriel. It's something to do with what's going to happen the next day. An island floating in the sky. It must be one of Gabriel's creations. I feel so lost again. I don't understand what is happening, nor what I felt up there. This quest has to end. What's happening to me? This atmosphere makes me feel incoherent. And there isn't any further that we can go up here. Alright, we've gone back to Oakmarsh because I remembered this stick was something that we'd taken out of the well, and you'll notice that the sepia tone came back again. So we take the stick down into the well, and it does reveal something on the wall. I can see something on the wall, like a hidden opening. Where does it lead? And so there's a tunnel from the well. Is this some sort of underground shelter? Who would settle down in this cesspit? It does look quite old with the sort of arches and everything. The water most likely seeped in from the openings. It must have been stagnating for years. And then there's another table and chair. And a way up. Its inhabitant brought books. Lots of them. The shopkeeper used to keep a logbook. Maybe I'll find some clues here. 14th November. A strange silence surrounds the manor. I was just fetching wood around the forest when suddenly all the animals went quiet at dusk. Most uncanny, that's for sure. 16th November. Rumors of bombing in Coventry. Curse them. I hope they don't turn their attention to an isolated place like Oakmarsh. 21st November. The old woman came by the Stanfords and left a few minutes later. She looked like she was in a hurry. I feel ill at ease when she's around. You never know what she thinks, even when she's looking you straight in the eye. The less I see of her, the better. 2 December. A young Blackwood came today. Alexander, I think. He wanted to rent the flat behind the shop. An old storage room and a stable aren't much, especially for a well-bred child, but it's more money in my pocket, so I said yes. He seems normal. Enough, but I'll keep my eyes peeled. 15th December, lights over Blackwood. And there were no Christmas decorations or bombers. 16th December. I swear I heard screams from there. They echoed across the whole valley. I'm still shaking at the thought. 25th December. Merry Christmas. 25th January. Going near the manor always made me anxious, but now it's all the more terrifying. I can almost hear whispers coming from the walls. Something haunting, like a word repeated over and over until it sounds strange in one's mind. I can still hear it. It was something like Emphigor, 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 Emphigor. It never stops. I felt the air shiver and the roof shifted. I ran back to the village, shouting at the top of my lungs. That settles it. I'm closing my shop, and I will never again leave here. 28 January. Emma and George are leaving. They will be leaving their daughter here, though I don't really understand why. I suppose she wants to stay with Alexander. I think they're right. There is nothing else that can be done here. I should leave too. Visit my sons in London, if they haven't forgotten they have a father. And we go back to the bunker, and I realized that I had never noticed this photograph. And it takes you into a music room, or a parlor, or something like that. Mother used to put her favorite novels here. I recognize this piano. Will I be able to touch a few keys? And indeed she can. You can interact with 1 octave's worth of keys, from middle C up. And there's sheet music. La Nocturne, some sheet music brought from France. Fortunately, it's been translated by Annie, I suppose. And this is the part that's sort of confusing. The only notation that I see is the scale. And there's no additional translation that I can tell. And it seems far too complex for them to expect you to actually play this song, especially since it doesn't even give you the entire scale. So I really don't know. I spent a lot of time with this, trying different notes and playing things on the piano, and I haven't figured this out yet. It's good to know that it's there now, since I had not previously noticed it. And then I returned back to the picture that has the cave. Sort of stumble across this. I guess if I'd been more observant the first time around, I would have noticed it. We're going to look at this photo that she says is inactive. And you'll notice on the right-hand side that that piece of wall doesn't really look like it belongs there. And we just barely touch it, and that reveals that there is, in fact, something there. But then I don't understand what it was, and I don't get an entry in the journal for it. But what I do find in the journal is another entry that I had previously missed. It seems somebody decided to hide in the cellar under the shop. Maybe Samson? I don't understand. Did Blackwood Manor only inspire people with fear? All I remember is Father's charm, Annie, Mother, and the good old times. Still, with every discovery, fear creeps into my mind. And that relates back to the area under the well. It doesn't have any bearing on this. But when we go back to the picture and look at it, and actually move this piece aside, we see that there's a cross with a picture hanging on it. But it doesn't seem like we can interact with the picture at all. And so I haven't figured this puzzle out yet. There is another photograph that you can access from the bunker that looks similar to this, and I don't know if it might be related to that. Well, thanks for watching this condensed version of the Goetia walkthrough. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe so that you know when I'm posting videos in the future. Thanks again for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.